The rain always seemed to fall heaviest on Blackwood Estate, a crumbling monument to a family consumed by madness. Locals spoke of the Blackwoods, wealthy, reclusive, and tragically vanished decades ago, leaving behind an unsettling void within the ancient stone. I wasn't a believer, but the police report was strangely sparse, citing unexplained circumstances and the complete silence of the estate's former inhabitants. My investigation began with the caretaker's journal, discovered in the estate's dilapidated library, a collection of dried flowers and a lingering scent of lavender and something else. The last entry, dated 1958, simply read, "They're always listening. Don't look at the paintings." The portraits in the main hall were the source of the most consistent, chilling accounts. They weren't portraits of the Blackwoods as they appeared in family photographs, but subtly altered versions, eyes that seemed to follow you, expressions of profound sorrow. Each witness claimed a specific painting held their gaze, and an unbidden whisper seemed to echo from the canvas. A single, repeated name, Elias. I started documenting the accounts. Sarah Jenkins, a local historian, swore she'd seen the portrait of Mr. Blackwood in the hallway, moving ever so slightly whenever she passed. Her description was consistent with the journal's warnings, but her frantic insistence on the painting's constant surveillance was deeply unsettling. Then there was Thomas Bellwether, a former groundskeeper who claimed to have heard faint music emanating from the estate's abandoned music room, music only he could hear, always played at a volume just below the threshold of human hearing. He insisted the portrait of Mrs. Blackwood was the source, and he'd seen shadows flicker within its frame during these periods. I discovered a hidden basement, accessible through a concealed trapdoor beneath the library. The air down there was thick with the smell of mildew and something metallic, like old blood. Scrawled on the walls were repeated messages. "He sees you. Don't. Elias." I set up a motion-activated camera, hoping to capture evidence of paranormal activity. The footage revealed nothing initially, just the relentless drip of water and the eerie silence of the estate. However, about an hour later, the camera picked up a slight movement in the hallway outside the main hall, a fleeting glimpse of a figure, impossibly tall and thin, silhouetted against the moonlight. The following night, I returned to the estate, armed with a voice recorder. As I stood before the Blackwood portrait, I heard it a whisper, faint but undeniably present, repeating Elias's name. It seemed to emanate directly from the canvas, chilling me to the bone. Suddenly, the temperature in the room plummeted. The lights flickered and died, plunging me into absolute darkness. I fumbled for my flashlight, desperately trying to pierce the gloom, when I heard a child's laughter, a high-pitched, unsettling giggle that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. I stumbled backwards, tripping over a loose floorboard. As I fell, I caught a glimpse of something moving in the periphery of my vision. A small, pale face peering out from the shadows behind the portrait. It was then that I realized the witnesses weren't just seeing things. They were being shown something. I managed to scramble to my feet and fled the estate, adrenaline coursing through my veins. As I drove away, I looked back and saw the Blackwood portrait illuminated by a single, blinding light, and I could have sworn I saw a subtle, knowing smile spreading across its painted face. The police investigation concluded with a report of psychological distress and delusions of grandeur. But I knew the truth. The Blackwoods weren't just victims. They were observers, trapped in a timeless loop, forever warning those who dared to listen. And now, I'm not sure I'm free from their gaze.